Before May 22nd, 2011, Joplin, Missouri was known for, well, exactly nothing. No one ever says, hey, let's back up the car and take the kids to Joplin. But when this is all you know, it's all you know. And it's home, you know? So when this woman from New York came to my door and asked me if I would participate in her book, documenting Joplin before the infamous tornado, I said yes. She asked me for a photograph that best represented Joplin to me, before the tragedy. The one I chose is of Layla, my daughter, in the hospital nursery. It was funny. Kevin, my husband, had picked up the wrong baby. He's standing next to Layla's crib, and the nurses are in the background laughing. I laughed so hard that I cried. This is a picture of Layla. She's at the Wizard of Oz Museum in Kansas. She wouldn't take off her souvenir ruby red slippers for months. She would climb into bed with Kevin and me and click her heels 3 times and say, "Home, Mommy! Home, Daddy!" She was too young to get the line just right, but we knew what it meant. It meant that she was home and safe with us. I don't like to talk about my story, but today is special. It is the anniversary of the death of my husband and the disappearance of Layla. Most of us should be familiar with the Wizard of Oz. Girl gets sucked up by tornado, starts drama with the witch, and forms an odd collection of friends. But if you aren't familiar with it, you can compare it to high school. However, tornadoes aren't fun at all. They're completely devastating, tearing apart communities, families, and lives. In this piece, a young mother recounts how one tornado took away her family and her Queen of Oz by Christy Thompson. Joplin was ready for a tornado. After all, we lived in Tornado Alley. That day, I could actually smell the storm coming as I stood at the back door. Layla? Layla! Baby, it's time to come inside. She never did want to come inside. The reason being that my mother once bought Layla a Wizard of Oz playhouse. A yellow ramp led up to the front door and had paintings of the lion, Tin Man, and Scarecrow on the inside walls. The Tin Man was always her favorite character. She thought, if your heart is full of love, you can do anything, even fly. And fly she did. She would fly around the room like a beam of love. She was always so full of life. I keep talking about her like she's dead. Rest assured, she's not. She's out there trying to find her way back home. Everyone tried to tell me that she was gone, but I knew it wasn't true. Here I am, years later, still knowing it's not true. She's out there, and she's going to come home. Plus, when I talk to my husband during my prayers each night, he tells me that Layla isn't up there in heaven with him. So, I ask him to ask God if he will just tell me where she is, so I can go and bring her home. I was too busy that day to play with Layla. I called out to her to come back inside. Layla! The wind began to hit my face so hard, and as I went back inside, I turned on the television. The weatherman said to find shelter inside a closet or a bathroom. I first ran into the bedroom and got a mattress to cover us. but I couldn't lift it. Layla, Layla, come inside! I kept screaming her name as I ran back into the playhouse. The rain and wind seemed to be easing into a stillness. Then I saw the tornado coming. Have any of you ever seen a tornado up close? I remember trying to run, but it was like my legs were set in concrete. The wind began blowing so hard, I thought my skin was going to separate from my body. But above all, I am a mother, and my one purpose in life is to protect my child. I kept struggling with all my strength to protect my daughter and get to that playhouse. My husband was in the front yard looking for us, and in that instant, can you see him? He's up there. Layla's up there too. It was in that instant that my husband became an angel. I watched him fly above me, and then he just fell. I knew it was God's way of giving me closure. But Layla didn't land, she just flew. I tried so hard to get her. Have you ever been on a treadmill? You run and you run and you reach for something, but you can never quite grasp it. Never. How could the winds do this to me? They took Layla away from me. It made me watch her disappear. I think I would have rather seen her kidnapped instead of just being blown away. I kept running in the same place, getting nowhere, and as the winds picked up the playhouse, it broke into a million pieces. And there she was, flying up and up and up, till I couldn't see her anymore. She was just gone. They're all gone. 162 people died that day. There were over $2 billion in property damages. No more houses, no more schools, the courthouse, the hospital, my church. They were all gone. There was nowhere to feel safe, no place to call home. The wind took it all. I hate that Dorothy lied to us. When she was swept away in the tornado, she landed in an amazing place with friends who supported her on her quest to get back home. But Dorothy, you lied to me. You lied to Layla. You lied to us all. Ever since I was a little girl, I believed that if I had a heart, a mind, and a strong sense of courage, I could always get back home. But I still have my memories. The three of us at a museum, or the Joplin Public Library. This is a picture of Kevin, Layla, and me at Layla's first grade graduation. These pictures represent home to me. maybe Dorothy didn't lie about that. Even in the midst of all this heartbreak, there is still no place like home.